Okay, it is exactly noon, everyone, and I want to welcome everyone. This is my very first live stream to YouTube. And hold on, let me go check the system here, see if I'm actually live. Oh no, let me check here. Sorry. Thing is, when you do something by yourself, you got to be able to check it, you know? So, for all those who are watching this on the replay, and you've never met me before, my name is Eric Hudson. My call sign is Nuke. By call sign, I was in the Air Force. I was a flyer. Behind me there, you see that was actually my flight helmet. So I'm here in the Las Vegas area, and what I want to do today is talk to you about what's going on. So normally on these days, I put out a weekend update, and for this week, well, it looks like it's working. Okay. So this week, I'm just going to go through my normal update and talk to you about what's going on in the Las Vegas market, talk about what's going on every place else. So you kind of know what's the, what's going on. So it's like my normal weekly update, except for this time it's live. And again, for those of you in the replay and anybody who comes on live, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed in the past, give us a like, and let's go ahead and move forward. So let's go ahead and share my screen here, and I'm going to start talking about what's going on in the Las Vegas market. Okay, so here's the housing snapshot that we have, and in the housing snapshot, you'll notice the big thing. Look here. Median house price has gone up again to $405,000. Let's compare that against last month. Last month it was $395. It's just going up this tremendous trajectory. It's almost hard to explain because last month 3,352 homes were sold compared to 3,543. You keep saying all these reports on YouTube videos, every place else, home sales are down, home sales are down. Well, home sales are down, prices are up. For some odd reason, even though more people are putting their houses on the market, the house prices just keep going up. And there's been a change. So I don't know if it's like the summer doldrums or something, but it just is unbelievable. Like last month or the month before last, look, we had 2,454 units available compared to 3,007. Look, way more units, yet prices way up. What's going on there? If you look at their inventory has gone up to 0.9 months compared to 0.7 last month. So every month, inventory has gone up, yet prices have gone up. This is absolutely unbelievable that this is happening right now, that more and more people are listing their homes, and yet prices continue to go up. I can't even explain it. Let's see. More listings. When you go down to even condos, 224 this month, 216 last month. Even more listings, more units available, but the prices keep going up. So some forces out there, and I don't know if it's still more people coming because there's over 150 people moving here every day. Are they sucking up all that inventory? Who knows? So let's continue to go on through this. The average price has shot up to $500,000 $101,000. I keep talking about this again and again. The difference between average and median. The median is if you take a bunch of them, you slice them in half. That's the median average. You take them all together and divide by that number. That's the average. So the average is up compared against last month. Look at that. It's way up also. $6,000 from last month. So the averages are going up. The averages of the new listings that are coming on the market, 549 this month compared to 534 last month. Got a little anecdote to tell you. Last month I had last night I went to a client's house. It was kind of a listing appointment. I was going back with some cash offers. I keep talking about this cash offer program thing. And it was funny because, I wanted to run my last numbers before going there. And a house just came on the market. And just so happened they were even having an open house that day. The last house that sold in that neighborhood that was the exact same model match as the house that just came on the market, they listed that house $100,000 over. I mean, there's enthusiasm, but then there's been a little bit crazy. They're being just a little bit crazy. Okay. So that's continuing. And I don't know what's going to happen with folks who keep doing that, because I've been talking to folks. I was on a call this week, and agents around the country are like, if you're overpricing your house this week, it's not happening. Nobody's buying that crap anymore. The sellers who are putting their houses on the market now, we are grateful to have your houses on the market because it helps with this problem. Yeah, prices continue to go up. For whatever reason, I don't know why. They're continuing to try to raise the price over and over. I have some offers out there. I don't want to get too deep into it because of, client confidentiality, but, sellers aren't responding in proper times. Agents aren't responding to stuff. And when you look, if you see that the last place that was sold is $40,000 less and it sold last month, then you're trying to ask a price for, that's just absolutely ridiculous. And that's going to end really soon. As we get into this, you'll see that that's ending. A lot of stuff is about to happen. And especially for the home sellers, I hope y'all are going to really be out there looking at some of the stuff I'm about to talk about. So, now I'm going to skip a little bit. I'm going to go to something, a big live stream I was on yesterday morning. I should say yesterday morning and afternoon. The thing was like 4 or 5 hours long. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was talking about what's happening, with the forbearance. And, that ended on July 31st. And when the forbearance ended, the banks can now start coming back after people to get their money. Now, the thing that has happened, a lot of people don't realize, the FICO scores have been cut off. They were turned off, and the federal government mandated this to try to save people's credit for the future. It has not been turned back on yet. So banks cannot go out there and then report you and say, hey, you have been late on your payments or you're in forbearance. Now, forbearance, one of the things people don't realize is once you declare a forbearance, it gives a hit on your credit of about 150 points. So those people who are in forbearance right now, there's no hits on their credit. So even if you took the forbearance to do something and, I don't know, invested in the stock market, somebody who did that and just say like, hey, I'll just pay it back when this is over because I don't know if the stock market's going up. You may have done a smart thing, but you need to pay it back because here's why. Once they turn that FICO back on, and they're not sure when they're going to turn that FICO back on yet, this day it turns on, everyone who is still in forbearance on that day will be reported. So you end up losing, your good credit. So if you had a 700 credit score, you now have a 550. So if something happens, you may not be able to buy a car. You may not be able to get another place, rent any place, because you need dang near 650 to rent a place here in Las Vegas. So that's one of the things you need to take care of. So what they will do when they turn the FICO on is they will put up to 3 months at the back end of your mortgage. The rest of it, you got to work out. So there's a lot of stuff up in the air right now. Some people are saying, like they're saying on the live stream, some people think the government will take care of it. We'll have to see. This is one that a lot of people are not going to expect that's going to happen. When the FICO scores turn back on, and it may not even be when the FICO scores turn back on, it may be as of right now. I don't know if you ever heard of 1099. That's like the form you get that says you received income. That forbearance is considered income. And people who are in forbearance are going to receive a 1099 this year, which means you're going to have to pay taxes on your forbearance. So something to look forward to and not look forward to. So that's one. And you need to really go back and read your agreement, because a lot of these banks, they had lawyers before they sent out these forbearance agreements. And there are people already saying like, hey, wait, they can't do all of this stuff. Yeah. It's in just about every forbearance agreement. It's way down there in legalese. If you have a forbearance, you need to go and read that real quick, especially before they turn the FICO scores back on. Now, if you have the money, you get yourself caught up. If you catch yourself up before the FICO scores are turned back on, you're good on everything. So if you took a forbearance, go ahead and get that turned back on, or at least get that caught up ASAP and do something. Right now, as far as what's out there, there's still 3 million homeowners who are in forbearance. About 7 million renters who are affected or would have been affected. And we'll talk about that in a minute, about the rental moratorium ending. Well, that's no longer ended. So when that's gone, what's going to happen there? Rents are going up like crazy. And, it's really some interesting stuff out there. So Wells Fargo, I don't know if any of you heard about what's going on with Wells Fargo. They cut off all home equity lines of credit right then and there. They are actually playing a sit and wait game, and they have directed all of their monies into actually like auto loans now, because they figure they'd make more money from auto loans. So that's where they've directed everything. And they're letting the big banks like Chase still do home equity loans. So if you want a home equity loan, don't even think about going to Wells Fargo, because they think there's something about to come around. We don't know. There's still a shortage of housing. Economy is still growing. If you've been in the stock market, you've made a lot of money lately. So some of this is good news for buyers and sellers, both good and bad for buyers and sellers. Good news for sellers, just about no one is underwater in their mortgage. About 90% of all sellers right now, or people who own homes, have positive equity. If you were to sell, you'll be able to walk away with substantial amounts of cash. Remember, if somebody forecloses on your home, you lose that equity. So don't let anyone take your equity away by sticking your head in the sand or something like that. Bad news for buyers. Even if all of those homes were to come on the market tomorrow, every last one of them, it would not alleviate our housing shortage right now. Because remember, a balanced market is 5 to 6 months of inventory. Right now, look at this. Even though we've gone up and it's like, it's like heaven. We've got twice as much inventory now. So we've gone from less than half a month to almost a month of inventory. It's still nowhere near We're still in a seller's market, but it's where it has been for quite a while, and it's actually better than it was last summer. And last summer, I didn't see anybody panicking. So as far as I'm concerned, it's almost back to where we've been for 2 or 3 straight years. So hey, good on that. Uh, with that, does anyone have any questions? Since I actually have the question box, I can see people typing in, make any comments or anything. Okay, let's go ahead and share that screen again. So what we're going to look at now is go into some local news. So hiring is up. You saw the jobs report. So nationwide, the jobless rate is down to 5.4%. That's why the stock market's up. 860,000 new jobs. So everyone's happy there. Home prices going up like crazy. As you can see, from January in the 345 range to 405 now. So if you purchased your house this year, you definitely have positive equity. How quickly are houses selling? Look at this. Right now, let's just call it what it is. 90% of houses sell within a month. So if your house is on the market more than 30 days, something's wrong. And what's wrong is price. Price. That's it. Pure and simple, price. They've overpriced their home, and all they need to do is lower the price, because especially now, people are getting wary of that. You don't have the 20 and 30 offers anymore. You got your 4 and 5, which you had last summer, and overpriced homes didn't sell last summer. This summer, I mean, they were selling. Now that's pretty much over. You need to price it right. But if you price it right, you're going to have multiple offers and you're going to get it. Don't be disappointed because your neighbor sold for 30,000 over list price. Them selling for 30,000 over list price set a new price. So if they hadn't sold for 30,000 over list price, you would be getting 30,000 less. Think about it that way. You're still getting 30,000 more. So stop the greed. You're going to get some out of it. Now, the elephant in the room, the eviction ban. They have come out with the new eviction ban ordered the president. So, had a bunch of Congress people sleep on the steps of the House, and they got their way. And they are going to have another one. And any place where there is a surge in the new coronavirus, the Delta variant, you can't evict anyone now through October 3rd. That is actually being challenged in court, and they're probably going to win in court as far as the people who are challenging it. So don't celebrate too quick. So make sure that you, if you're a renter out there, a renter, they get themselves taken care of. There's money out there from the state to at least help them out. And as far as the landlords go, the state actually has money for that to help you out. They have a new program to help you guys out. I'm going to probably do a full-length video on it to talk about how to get that money before it disappears, because you know how it is. Like, remember about 3 or 4 years ago, we had a program that gave you like $20,000 to do nothing but go buy a house. And people didn't believe it. The money was just sitting there. It's like, oh, this is a scam. And I put a bunch of people in the houses where they got 20 grand to help with down payment and closing costs. Oh, it's a scam. It's a scam. People are going, oh, it's a scam. And then the newspaper, Las Vegas Review Journal, ran a story on it. And within like a few days, all the money was gone, because everyone went, oh, it's not a scam. I better go get my money. It caused a nice little housing boom too. But sometimes things are scams. This is actually by the state, and they're going to be paying off some stuff for you guys, or at least if you're a landlord who's been affected. Big thing, I don't have my notes for that here because I'm making a separate video for it. I've been like, there's so much housing stuff going on. I can make videos every day and just talk for an hour just on what's going on in housing and housing in Las Vegas. You've got to own 4 or fewer houses, just to give you some stuff. If you're a landlord, and you can use this program to help because you had tenants who weren't paying. So there's a web page you go to. I'll put that in that new video, and you'll be able to go there and get that money and help yourself out there. Next one, kind of not as much on real estate, but it affects us, is gas prices. If you've been to the pump, even if you're not living here, gas prices are out of control. Nevada used to be, I mean, like middle of the pack. Right now, they're saying only Hawaii and California outpace us in gas prices now. So we are getting really hammered on gas, and they are just shellacking us. So I hate that because I got to put gas in my car just like everybody else. Trash bill. This is one that absolutely blew me away. I didn't even know they've done this, and I probably should have put 2 and 2 together, because on the stuff I get from the title company for buying, when I help people buy and sell houses, it's right on there. It's from Republic Services. It talks about, are there any liens on the house from the trash company? I never really like put 2 and 2 together, but look at this. They're actually starting to foreclose on houses, and it's like way up. So I guess they've always done this, and it's not been a big thing, but like since the coronavirus thing happened, they've gone up. There's like foreclosing on more houses. And it's like people are confused. It's like, you're foreclosing on houses, and this is not for like huge amounts. These are like for a couple $1,000. And they're foreclosing on houses where people may have, hundreds of thousands of dollars of equity. And remember, when they foreclose on your house, you lose everything. All that equity goes to somebody else. So, oh yeah, I just figured out, if they foreclose on your house and you have 300,000 in equity and you owe $6,000 in trash bills, oh yeah, they get your $300,000 house and can sell it. It's a quick $300,000 in money. Yeah, I know how they're doing it now. Yeah, I know why. Kind of simple, huh? So some more news, bidding wars are starting to cool off. Not as many people are bidding. Like I said, it's 4 or 5 for the great houses. Houses that are overpriced, houses that are not so great, you can get those. So look, like I keep saying, look for the houses that aren't the pretty penny, that maybe aren't move-in ready, that you can live with right now. Everyone's always looking for that move-in ready house. Thing is, everyone else is. So now you're going there and you're bidding up the price, and you're talking about paying, $10,000 out of pocket. Although right now you can do it for maybe 5 over, but still. Would you rather pay list price or less, or what the house is really worth, and then put a little bit of money in it, or come out of 10,000 of your own pocket to make it move in ready? Or would you rather just spend it? Because the prices I've seen people paying above list price, and that's above list price. We don't know what the house is really worth, because a lot of people overprice their homes, which means they actually could have been paying 50,000 over what it appraised. They're paying that out of their pockets. There is no house in this valley, unless it's a mansion, that you can't put $30,000 and take a piece of crap and turn it into a palace. Trust me, there is no house in this valley you can't do that with. The only thing that you're going to have an issue with is if that house, is finding the labor and the material, because there is a labor and material shortage. As a matter of fact, I was calling on a new house I have under contract now. It's going to ask the question. The first thing out of the guy's mouth, even though it wasn't a question I was asking, was, "Hey, I'm sorry, we're behind on the house. We're still short on materials. I still can't get this. I can't get this. I can't get this." And I'm like, I'm not calling about that. my house is complete. I'm just calling about something else. Oh, that house. So that's what I'm talking about. It's like the first words out of their mouth, how short they are on materials. They can't get anybody out to do anything. So that's another one you got to look out for, is the materials and all that stuff, and finding skilled labor that can get stuff done. Speaking of skilled labor, this is an aside, and it's one of those, when it's yours, it's a little bit different. You'll find a way. I had a client, I closed on a house on Friday. It's the house I keep talking about with cash offers that they got like full price. They were happy. She was happy as can be. She was loving it, loving it. I mean, even like just all kudos. She just loved everything that happened. Uh, she did not need the washer, dryer, or the refrigerator. And as a matter of fact, the buyers, I guess they're going to put their own stuff in, or I don't know what. They said, please take the washer and dryer, refrigerator. We'd rather them not be there. I'm like, okay. So I contact my seller and was like, well, they want them out. It's like, well, I can't use them for my new place. Well, I'll take care of it. Call around. I mean, they were in great condition. I should have like set it up where you can see pictures. I mean, the washer and dryer were gorgeous. If I didn't have nice wash and dryer myself, I definitely would have taken it. Same thing for the refrigerator. Matter of fact, I almost should have taken the refrigerator because I still have the same refrigerator from my first house when I was a first lieutenant. And I put it in like in the garage, one of those garage refrigerators. It was like, hey, it's time to upgrade, stainless, the French door, everything. So I called first for the refrigerator. Well, both of them. The person didn't want the wash and dry, they wanted the refrigerator. Then I called a handyman that I use. And, first question out of everybody's mouth, this is Vegas. How much? I'm like, no, it's free, man. It's yours. It's yours. Just go get it. And then a couple days later, the people was going to pick up the refrigerator. They couldn't pick it up for various reasons. They were busy that day. That was the pickup day. And I called this guy up. It's like, hey, can you just do me a favor? I mean, the guy's getting like a $1,500 wash and dryer, And I go, well, can you just pick up this refrigerator for me and just drop it off to the person I promised it to? It's like, well, can it be another day? I'm busy that day, but he wasn't too busy to pick up his washer and dryer. First clue. And then it's like, no, it's your time. You can drop it off whenever. So he's like, okay. So Friday morning, goes pick it up. It's like, calls me up. I can't get it out because it was a big model. And they had this big kitchen island. So it's like, when they put it in, they must have taken off the doors and everything to get it in. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I don't have tools with me. I just brought a trailer to take the washer and dryer and stuff. So I can't really take this out because I don't have tools. At time it's like, well, you can't do it. And then she had to like, and I was like, well, just stay, because he arrived right before the movers arrived. And I'm like, well, why don't you just get the tools from the mover and just take them off, and then you can put them back later since you have the tools. You just didn't bring them with you. But he had left because he immediately wanted to skedaddle out of there. And the movers were arriving in a few minutes. But I thought about it a little bit later. If the refrigerator was going to him, and that was like a really nice refrigerator, like a $2,000 refrigerator, he would have stayed. He collected his $1,500 washer and dryer for free, but he wouldn't stay for the $2,000 refrigerator for somebody else. That's just my little aside. Getting $1,500 in free stuff, but you wouldn't stay just to help somebody out with the refrigerator. I was given that stuff. I could have used it for myself. I didn't, because I felt it was unfair. I wanted to gift these things to other people. But that's the way things work, So anyway, I've talked about a few things. Overpriced is over. But the last thing I'm talking about is buyers who have been doing that 10 and 15 and 20 over here in the Vegas area and some other markets. A lot of them are now backing out of their agreements. They're going, you know what? You can keep the EMD. I'm out. I'm done. I don't have time for this, because why should I pay all that money? So they're leaving. And yeah, it's just happening that way. Same thing now, like homeowners. For now, they've been able to just skip out because people are like, hey, I'll take the house without any repairs. Well, that's going to end soon. Again, we're at peak selling. We're about to enter the September market in October. When things slow down, people aren't going to take that crap anymore. And all these sellers who are coming back, like all the offers I come in with lately, I'm not even putting in, I'm going to pay over this amount appraisal. But sellers are still coming back. I want this and I want that and I want this and I want to stay for 2 months so I can find my next house. That crap's going to end real soon. Here's one that's real interesting. It's not interesting. I've always known this, and I actually like warn my buyers about it. But you need to warn your folks, and this may vary by state. Now, Nevada is a two-party consent state, but for some odd reason, and this is actually like the legal counsel for the Realtor Association said that this is legal because it's a private residence. There is no expectation of privacy. So whenever you're in a house, and I keep warning people about this, especially with all the stuff like the Ring doorbells and all this jazz. When you're trying to discuss how much you want to offer for a house and your strategy and all that stuff, GTFO that house and get away from the front door. You don't know how many cameras they have. Everybody has cameras around here. They're listening to you. Now, this was actually talking about them targeting their agent, but you need to stay away from every house. If you're going to sit there and talk about you want to make an offer on that house, walk away. Get in your car, leave. Go to Starbucks or someplace else, or Coffee Bean, or wherever you're at in your country. And yep, these forbearance programs are ending. It is really going to strain a lot of programs. If you need help, get it early. If you can pay off that forbearance, do it, or else you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And just wanted to show you some stats that's going on. So just in the last 24 hours here, 99 new listings on the market. 29 came back on market. That's almost a third. Do you know why the majority of them come back on market? Price. Somebody wakes up the next morning and they go, what have I done? So you're sitting there, you're going for the highest offer. Somebody is offering to pay, your house is $350, they often pay you $370. Look at that real close, because then they wake up in the morning and they say, what have I done? You got to put it back on the market. Look at all these price decreases. About a third of the number of houses that came on the market. I don't know what happened with price increases. That don't even make any sense. Sometimes people do crazy stuff too. Sometimes these are like mistakes by the agents, but sometimes, some sellers go like, the neighbor just sold their house. I heard Mary and Bob sold their house for X. I want to raise my price. Your house hadn't sold for 2 weeks. You want to raise your price. Okay, whatever. And yeah, you see expireds. A lot of those have not, we don't have too many expireds. You didn't see too many leases. There are very good leases are hard to find. I'll tell you, the one I closed on Friday, we worked our butts off to try to get her into a place, because every place is like, oh, we already have a lease, already have a lease, already have a lease. That's all we got. It's just happening all over. Got to do it. Hey, Jaime, what's up, bro? Yeah. So this is happening, and that's how the market is. Anybody got any questions before I bounce out of here? Because I know I kept you for a bit and my voice is getting hoarse. Okay. So hope you guys enjoyed my first live stream. I had this baby out here on here on YouTube. I had it on Facebook. Hope everybody enjoyed it. And I'm going to plan on doing this once a week at least for foreseeable future. Any kind of news I see out there, including what I have coming up for future videos, I'm going to go ahead and like preview it here for you guys. That way you have a really good weekend update and you know how the week is coming and what you guys need to get prepared for and what happened in the last week, especially what to get prepared for. Because I'm not just covering the Las Vegas market, I'm covering the market overall, because it doesn't matter where you're at. It's all real estate is local. You know what I'm saying? If it's happening here, it's happening in Ottumwa, Iowa. I like to say Ottumwa, Iowa. That's where, if you see the movie Tuskegee Airmen, because Hannibal is from Ottumwa, Iowa. Uh, so it's happening everywhere. So get you guys out there. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments. And if I don't have another week where everyone's calling me to go and do stuff, I don't get 1,000 calls in 2000. I mean, I do get a lot of calls per day. I have to go through a lot of emails, show a lot of houses. Big thing is, with these veterans, I'm out there trying to help them out. So you guys go ahead, hit that like button. I will see you next week. Thank you, everyone who was here.